Some Democrats in both the House and Senate appear to be divided over Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer's decision to help Republicans avoid a government shutdown last week. 9 other Democrats joined Senator Schumer in advancing the stopgap measure, which funds the government through September and was signed by President Trump. The minority leader said the bill was, quote, terrible, but he ultimately voted to keep the government open just hours before last Friday's deadline. Democratic Congresswoman Debbie Dingell of Michigan, who voted no on the bill in her chamber, was asked about Schumer's vote and the fallout on CBS's Face the Nation with Margaret Brennan Sunday.
Senator Schumer sent out mixed signals. We have got to be united as Democrats in making sure reconciliation and we protect people from having their health care cut, Medicaid cut, Social Security cut, or Medicare cut in any way, shape, or form. They want to see Democrats fighting back, and they're really scared about what's going to happen to them.
For more, let's bring in CBS News political reporter Hunter Woodall. Hunter, there are some interesting dynamics happening in the Democratic Party, all of which you have been following very closely. How would you describe the situation right now?
Lindsay, this is a time of clear frustration amongst Democrats. And, you know, it was abundantly evident after the 2024 election that there was a lot of soul searching amongst the Democratic Party. How did they lose? What happened? How did they end up losing the Senate? How did they lose the presidency? And how did they fail to retake the House? That soul searching has given way to frustration. I was at the House Democratic Retreat in Leesburg, Virginia last week, and it's so evident that Democrats, you know, all the concerns they had after the election, they thought, okay, they needed to get a better, understanding of the American electorate, improve their, brand with voters. But right now, they just seem frustrated by what's coming out of Washington, not only on the Republican side, but obviously with Senate Democratic leader Chuck Schumer as well.
Well, and Congresswoman Dingell mentioned that reconciliation is coming up. I mean, what is this? Why is that so important?
Reconciliation, it's a wonky word, so I'll try and, make it simple for everybody because I know this is, out of Washington, there's so much that we can misunderstand. This is a process that allows the majority party, in this case the Republicans, to pass certain legislation on the strength of their narrow majorities alone in the House and Senate. No Democrats, they don't need the support of any Democrats to pass anything by using this tool. They don't get to use it very often, but it essentially is going to allow Republicans to pass major parts of President Donald Trump's agenda. So Democrats, they don't need the votes there. Republicans don't need Democrats to vote for it, but Democrats see this as a part where they can really show voters they're pushing back against Donald Trump. And that's why you heard Representative Dingell talking about being unified, because even though Democrats don't have a role in it so much, they want to be able to show, hey, ahead of the 2026 midterms, they're resisting the president.
Well, Senator Schumer announced Monday he's postponing the tour for his book out this week, Anti-Semitism in America, A Warning. I mean, we know that people had planned to protest. What more can you tell us about this decision? And you mentioned the soul searching that's been happening since the election. Are Democrats any closer to having an answer on what went wrong or where they go from here?
Well, my colleague, our congressional correspondent, Caitlin Huey-Burns, got a statement from the book publicist for Leader Schumer citing security concerns and that the book events are going to be rescheduled. But again, this comes at a time I haven't quite seen in recent years, Democrats really be so discontent with their congressional leaders. And this comes at that time where they clearly want a new direction out of Washington, out of Democratic leaders. Voters I've spoken with, when you go to these town halls and you hear from voters, the Democratic faithful are concerned about Washington. They want to see a new approach, and they want to be, see more pushback against Donald Trump, against Republicans. Evidently, that didn't help, Democrats have brand struggles that carried over in the 2024 election, and they seem to still be struggling to find a solution for these brand issues as we come to these early months of 2025.
Hunter Woodall, thank you so much for your reporting.